No update. No, just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Caitlin Clark didn't just walk off the court with a limp. She broke down in tears. And if you think this was just another game, you are completely wrong.
Walks down to the end of the court. You can tell that she's in pain. You can tell that there's something wrong. She goes to the, what's it called, like stanchion or whatever, the thing that holds up the basketball hoop on the other end. She hits her head on it. She is fighting back tears and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying, and I've honestly never seen Caitlin Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. She keeps it together no matter what is happening, but you could just tell that something happened on that play, and it was either the pain of it, it was either like, here we go again, it was frustration.
What happened against the Connecticut Sun was more than just an injury. It was a complete failure by her coach, her front office, and even the league. If you want to know who is really to blame for Caitlin Clark's pain, let's break it down. Because enough is enough. This didn't come out of nowhere. The warning signs were there from the start. Caitlin Clark had a quad injury in the preseason, and instead of giving her the proper rest, they sent her back to Iowa for an exhibition game. Why? For PR, ticket sales, and hype. It was about headlines, not her health. Then she aggravated it again during the season, and while they sat her for a short time, the moment things got tough, they put her right back out there. Did anyone stop to ask if she was actually ready, or did they just see dollar signs and rush her into uniform? And now, it's led to a groin injury. Re-injury after re-injury. Is this the new normal for her career? Because the way the Fever are treating her, it sure feels like they're fine with it. Let me ask you this. If it was LeBron, Steph, or Luka, would they be forced to play through this? Or would their team actually protect their franchise player? The play itself looked harmless. Clark made one of her signature passes, a smooth backdoor dish that the crowd loved. Classic Caitlin. But then she didn't run back. She froze, clutched her groin, took one step, then another, and bent over. You could feel the energy in the arena shift instantly. The camera caught her holding her hip tight, her face telling the whole story. She tried to tough it out because that's who she is. But then she walked off, and I mean walked. Not jogging. Not subbing out with high fives. Just limping straight to the stanchion with her head buried. No drama, no flopping. Just pure pain. And I don't know about you, but I've never seen Caitlin Clark cry like that before. She's been body checked, thrown to the floor, elbowed in the face, and never once has she shown emotion like that. So what does that tell you? You know what's crazy? This league has thrown everything at her, literally. Kennedy Carter shoulder checked her. Marina Mabrey tried to flatten her. She's taken hits every single game. It's like she's getting jumped in a parking lot. And still, no tears. She gets up, brushes it off, and keeps going. But not tonight. Tonight was different. When Caitlin buried her face in that towel, that wasn't just pain, it was exhaustion. Physical, emotional, mental. You could see it, clear as day. She finally hit her breaking point, and it didn't come from a foul. It came from her own body giving out on her. That should terrify everyone in the Fever front office. Because when someone that tough finally breaks, it means they've been pushed way too far. And for what? To beat the Sun in July? To sell out another road game? What's the cost? You don't run your superstar into the ground before the All-Star break and expect her to stay quiet. What do you think Caitlin was thinking while she sat there crying? Do you think she's starting to question everything? And just when you thought the night couldn't get any uglier, here came the refs. From the very start, the refs let Connecticut get away with murder. Hand-checking, grabbing, holding Clark on every single screen. And the whistle never came. By the third quarter, she'd had enough. You could see her yelling after every no call. And then during a review, the camera zoomed in and clear as day, she turned to the ref and said, "Grow up." Straight up, no filter, no fear, just raw frustration. Can you blame her? This isn't new. She's been the target of physical defense since game 1. The only difference tonight was that she couldn't hide the rage anymore. And honestly, I'm glad, because someone had to say it. The refs haven't protected her. Her coach hasn't, so she finally said it herself. But why is she the only one fighting for her safety? Here's what gets lost in all the chaos. Caitlin Clark still showed up. Before the injury, she had 14 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds, plus 21 in the box score. She orchestrated the offense, pushed the pace in transition, set her teammates up, and when she was on the floor, the Fever dominated. The second She sat. Connecticut closed the gap. Even after the injuries, even after the bad calls, even after the cold shooting, she kept going. And in that fourth quarter, right before the injury, she took over. A mid-range pull-up, a backdoor cut, a deep three, free throws. Boom, 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 the dagger stretch. She gave Indiana the cushion they needed. And then her body gave out. That's what hurts the most. She's doing everything, absolutely everything, just to keep this team afloat. And the moment she breaks, who's there for her? Where's the protection? Where's the accountability? And that brings us to Stephanie White, because these rotations make zero sense. Clark plays for minutes, sits for 5, plays 3, then sits for 6. How is she supposed to find a rhythm like that? How is her body supposed to stay loose when she's dealing with a soft tissue injury? Anyone who's played ball knows that if you've got tight hips or sore quads, the worst thing you can do is sit and then try to jump back in cold. You cramp, you stiffen up, and you risk re-injury. That's exactly what's happening here. And on top of that, Stephanie White keeps pulling her right after she hits a big shot. She benches her during scoring runs. She even puts Clark and Ari McDonald on the floor together, even when it's obvious it's not working. What's the game plan? You'd think they would treat Caitlin like the franchise player she is, but instead, she's being rotated like a bench rookie. And now she's paying the price. How long until Clark finally says, "I'm done"? Let's be real, there's no strategy here. It's panic, chaos, desperation. Camp day, play Caitlin. All-Star weekend, push her through. Big crowd, put her in. Groin still tender? Oh well, sell the tickets. Every decision feels rushed and reactive, with none of them focused on her long-term health. On top of that, she's being dragged all over the country, events, flights, press obligations. How is she supposed to recover when she never actually rests? She has a quad strain and now a groin issue, yet she's still suiting up every night like she's at full strength. Does the front office even know how to manage a superstar, or are they just counting on her not saying no? You already know what Stephanie White said after the game. She felt something in her groin. We'll get it evaluated. Sound familiar? It should, because they said the exact same thing a few weeks ago when Clark had a quad problem. And what happened? She missed 10 days. The time before that, same story day to day. Then suddenly she was gone again. So now when they feed us the same line, how are we supposed to believe it's nothing serious? Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark has been rushed back to early every single time. And every single time the injury has gotten worse. That's not bad luck. That's bad management. This is exactly what happens when you treat injuries like a PR problem instead of a medical one. When your head coach gives robotic answers to dodge criticism instead of owning the truth, the fans lose trust. Caitlin deserves better, because she's not just another player. She's the engine, the star, the reason people are watching. And if she's not getting honesty, then neither are we. Why is it so hard for them to just tell the truth? Is this really about protecting her, or just about covering their own mistakes? Because right now, it doesn't feel careful, it feels careless. So what do you think? Is Stephanie White being real with us? Or is this just more smoke to hide another bad decision? And let's not forget, technically Indiana won this game, 85-77. On paper, it looks solid. Kelsey Mitchell dropped 23 points, Natasha Howard dominated inside, and Sophie Cunningham gave strong minutes off the bench. You check the box score and everything looks fine, right? But here's the reality, none of that matters now. Not one bit. The only thing people are going to remember is Caitlin Clark limping off the court in pain, tears rolling down her face. That image will stick with fans a lot longer than any win. And honestly, it should. A victory is nice, but when your star player, the face of your team and really the face of the entire WNBA, is breaking down physically and emotionally in front of the world, how do you celebrate that? How do you walk into the locker room smiling when your leader is in tears? Tonight was supposed to be a celebration, a confidence boost heading into the break, but instead, it became a massive wake-up call. What's happening behind the scenes in Indiana? Who's making these decisions? And why are they letting this happen? Coaching failure, medical failure, leadership failure, all of it came crashing down in one night. So, let's ask the question nobody in Indiana wants to face: was that win really worth it? Because from where I'm sitting, the price looks way too high. It's not complicated. Sit her down. Not for a few minutes. Not on some fake minute restriction. Shut her down. No 3-point contest. No all-star game. No, we'll see how she feels tomorrow. enough with the charade. She's already pushed through a quad injury. Now it's a groin. What's next? An ACL tear? An Achilles rupture? Because if they keep running her out there like this, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Let her rest. Let her finally heal the right way. Then maybe, just maybe, she comes back strong for the second half of the season. That's if she hasn't already checked out mentally from this franchise. And honestly, would you blame her if she did? Right now, she's being treated less like a player and more like a product. Right now, it feels like she's just a body being rolled out for ticket sales and jersey numbers. But Caitlin Clark is more than that. She's the franchise. She's the reason arenas are full, why viewership records are being broken, why people who never watched the WNBA before are tuning in. 11-13. So here's the real question. Do you honestly believe the Fever are doing what's best for Caitlin Clark? Because from the outside, it doesn't look like protection, it looks like business. And if that doesn't change, don't be shocked if one day she says, "I'm done." Don't be surprised if she walks away. Because right now, there's zero evidence that this organization cares enough to stop driving her into the ground. Do you want me to help you build the next section as a closing monologue style, like a final punch that leaves the audience with no doubt?